This time, I was in that hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And that's when that bellboy I saw earlier came out of the room. Of course, when I say room, I mean Juan Corrita's room. Now that I think about it, that bellboy did seem kind of out of place. Yeah, so he had to be the assassin, I'm sure of it. I mean... Thank you very much. That is all we need for now. Huh? But I'm not done. There's still more. Let us first establish that the bellboy was truly Mr. the Killer. Then we shall see. So the bellboy came out of the victim's room. And if that bellboy really was the assassin, then I think the answer is fairly obvious. That would be correct, Your Honor. Well, Mr. Wright, I believe it's your turn to entertain and make us laugh. This is no laughing matter. Alright. And then the third time when he went to pick up Maya. This time was in the hallway because I had to go to the bathroom. And what time was it? Well, I don't remember. The award ceremony ended around 8 p.m., right? And I went to Matt's room pretty soon after that, and then I came back, and then I went to the bathroom. So I guess maybe it was around 8:10 p.m. by that time? You're not one for details, are you, Mr. Powers? Sorry. I thought I could maybe catch Matt and say congrats. And that's when the bellboy I saw earlier came out. Are you sure it was the same bellboy? Yeah. And how could you tell? All the bellboys were the same uniform after all. But, you see, well, he had those stitches in his face. Ugh. So I'm sure it's the same guy that was talking with Matt. So which room did the bellboy come out of? Okay, I think I kind of messed up with not picking the stitches first. I thought that would have been the obvious one and not the role, but whatever. When I say room, I mean Juan Corrita's room. The victim's room, huh? Yeah, the one with all the really pretty flowers and teddy bears. It was Juan's room, alright. Words cannot describe how screwed I am. Huh. Let's continue with the testimony, shall we? And I think about it, the bellboy did seem kind of out of place. So what exactly was so out of place about him? Right. Why the insipid grin? Maybe because I have no idea what damaging thing he's gonna say next? Well, the bellboy was empty-handed. Empty-handed? That bellboy was one of those room service people, right? But he wasn't pushing a cart, and he wasn't holding a tray either. You'd call that a little strange too, wouldn't you? I agree that it is a bit strange, Mr. Powers. But is it really that unusual for a bellboy to be empty-handed? What should I do? Should I let Mr. Powers' testimony slide, or try to pull a fast one? Let's let it slide for now. If we need to pull a fast one, we will. You're right. I think it's pretty unusual, too. I thought you might think so. There's no need to say anything when the defense gives up without a fight. Let's move on. Anyway, Mr. Powers, you thought the bellboy was a little suspicious, correct? Alright, we'll be back to that if we need to. So, he had to be the assassin. Please don't be so quick to judge! But it's kind of a Powers family thing. Think of every person as a thief. Well, I guess a thief and an assassin are both sneaky and silent. That's not the point, Phoenix. In any case, if that bellboy was the assassin, it would be very bad for us. But he really is the assassin, you know? Yes, but you can't give in yet. If you want to prolong this trial for as long as possible, you're going to have to pull some cheap tricks on this one. Okay, so even Mia's saying, pull a fast one on your friend. Okay, blah, 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 blah. He was empty-handed. So let's try to pull a fast one like Mia says we should. There's nothing strange or unusual about an empty-handed bellboy. But there really, really is. There really, really isn't. If you two are done being school children, bellboys are for room service. There is no reason for them to be empty-handed, ever. Your Honor, I ask that the witness's previous statement be supplanted with this new one. Edgeworth, are you going to do whatever you can to make the bellboy look suspicious? I see. Very well, this court recognizes and grants the prosecution's request. Mr. Powers, if you could amend your testimony, please. Yes, sir. Alright, I thought that it was kind of strange for the bellboy to come to a guest room empty-handed. So you're saying that it's suspicious for him to be empty-handed? Yeah, really suspicious. I mean, when I first saw that bellboy, he was holding a tray in his hand. And there was a bottle of juice and a wine glass on it. Juice? What kind of juice was it? I'm pretty sure it was tomato juice. If we could come up with some sort of reason as to why he would come out empty-handed, some sort of proof, then I think we can dodge the bullet on this one for now. Proof, huh? Sounds like another job for the court record. Well, yeah, because all that stuff would have had to have been left there. The wine glass. It has tomato juice, there was the bottle there, and this was the glass that was on there. That's the only thing that we really have. And, oh! The tray is there! The tray itself is there. So you know what? I don't think it's the wine glass. I think it's the crime photo. Objection! Mr. Powers. Yes? You're easily influenced by other people's words, aren't you? As soon as you heard that the bellboy might have been the killer, you got caught up in believing it must be true. But, isn't he really suspicious? He's got all those stitches and... So, a baseball has stitches. Are you saying that all baseballs are suspicious because they have stitches? Well, there's also, I mean, what about him being empty-handed? I would like to ask the court to please take a look here. This is the crime scene. There is a wine glass sitting next to Mr. Corrida's body. The liquid inside this glass is tomato juice. And now, if you would look at what is on top of the table in the lower right corner here, anyone can clearly see that it is a tray with a bottle of tomato juice on it. The bellboy had just brought this to Mr. Corrida's room. He left the tray in the room, which is why he was empty-handed when he left. But that would mean that the bellboy had seen and left a dead body in the room. Ah, but can you prove that Mr. Corrida was already dead at that time? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? I blame you for leading me down this route! I'm terribly sorry. What is with him? Why is he laughing? Witness, isn't there one more thing you would like to share with us? Is there? The bellboy was empty-handed. Or should I say, empty-handed. I recall you had something interesting to say about his hands. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot. Huh? What? That bellboy, he was wearing gloves. Gloves? Yeah, pitch black leather ones. All the other bellboys don't wear gloves like that, right? Black leather gloves. Why didn't you mention them earlier? Sorry, it slipped my mind. Ah! Boy, just make the bellboy look really suspicious. Alright, gotta focus. Can't get lax here. So what if he had gloves? A lot of bellboys wear gloves. Come on, Mr. Wright, that bellboy was wearing black leather ones. So? A football is made of leather. Are you saying all footballs are suspicious because they're made of leather? But that man, he received a large roll of cash from the defendant. And then he was seen leaving the crime scene wearing black leather gloves. I don't think that even someone like myself can believe he was just another bellboy. It seems that we have finally come to an understanding. Now then, witness, please continue with the rest of your testimony. The rest? Oh, yes, please tell us more. Okay. Alright, and the rest of what Edgeworth didn't really want him to finish. Or I guess just kind of... You know what? Edgeworth is in on this. Gotta remember that. Edgeworth is in on this. He's also just stalling for time. After leaving Juan's room, the bellboy went and knocked on Matt's room, just like that. He gave something to the person inside the room. Then the old guy just left without even going into the room. After that, I went to the bathroom and then back to my seat. So the bellboy, after leaving the crime scene, next went to the defendant's room? Yeah, I kind of saw that by accident. Some accident? I'd say you saw too much. And all of it was suspicious to high heaven. I think it's safe to say that we can no longer consider this bellboy to be normal. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Alright. So, now for the rest of the testimony. So, after leaving Juan's room, the bellboy knocked on Matt's door. Is that what you saw while you were busy spying? Excuse me? I may be a poor underpaid action star, but even I wouldn't stoop to spying. Well, I think the point is, where did you watch all this from, Mr. Powers? Oh, from the door of the bathroom with my left eye in sort of a sneaky spy-like. I knew he was spying! Please, does it really matter if he was doing it over or underhandedly? What did the bellboy do next? That's all I care to know. He gave something to the person inside the room. What was that something? I said, hold it! Okay. That's better. What kind of statement is that? Please elaborate and give us a few more details. Okay. I should probably ask him only one question at a time. What was the something? He gave something to this person. Yeah. And what was this something? If I remembered what it was, I wouldn't be calling it a something, would I? But this implies that something was removed from the scene of the crime. Are you sure you really can't remember, Mr. Powers? I think it was something kind of small. This is an incredibly crucial piece of information. Please try to remember what it was. I'll try. In the meantime, let's talk of another point. Namely, what the bellboy did next. Oh, so after he gave the person inside the room the thing, he gave something to the person inside the room. Okay, so let's try the other thing then. Blah, 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 blah. Who was the person inside? Was it Matt? So who took this something the bellboy handed off? Actually, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. Only an arm? Then you're saying you didn't see the person's face. Yeah. I would like to surmise the testimony up to this point. I would like to... let me try that again, because that was the wrong word. I would like to summarize the testimony up to this point, if you don't mind. When the bellboy left the crime scene, he immediately went to the defendant's room. There, he handed a small item of some sort to the person inside. As for the person who received the item, all you could see was the person's arm. Yes, yes, it was just like that. Mr. Edgeworth, is all this really that important? Of course, Your Honor. I think this is of the utmost importance. This is when whatever was removed from the crime scene was handed over to the client. Mr. Powers, please try to remember what it was the bellboy handed off. Well, let's see. I think it was, no. If you remember, please add it to your testimony. Yes, sir. Is this where the bear comes in? Because this was in Matt's place. Many thin cuts, and it was pretty small. Maybe? But we don't exactly have anything to tie that yet. If I saw it again, I could say for sure. But I think it was some sort of wooden statue. It is the bear. A statue? Yeah, it kind of looked like one, I guess. If I saw the actual thing again, I'd probably remember, you know? Looks like for this trial to proceed, I'm going to have to come up with whatever this statue thing is and show it to him. I'm going to have to trust your instinct on this one and take a chance, Phoenix. Well, Mr. Powers, let's continue with your testimony. What did the bellboy do after that? And the old guy left. Okay, the old guy left without even going into the room. Okay, so let's finish with pressing everything, and then we can try the statue. Because that seems like that would be the most likely thing, is the little bear figurine. Where did this bellboy go after he left Mr. Ungard's room? He opened the door to Viola Hall. Went in there, and who knows after that, right? I do. Yeah, he went over to kidnap Maya. I went to the bathroom and then went back to my seat. Did you see anything strange, suspicious, or just out of the ordinary at that time? Oh yeah, I saw that one thing. What? You saw something else? There was this jittery alien with a ray gun. It was watching Juan's door like some sort of stalker. I think we can forget about the alien. Well, Mr. Powers' testimony just now is just as vague as his first. It's a little troublesome, isn't it? But I'm sure if you press him enough, everything will become clearer. Although, it just makes it harder on us, doesn't it? Talk about a lose-lose situation. I love how it's like, let's forget the alien. It's like, just like in One Piece, there's aliens, but let's not pay attention to that. If I saw it again, I could say for sure, but I think it was a wooden statue. In that case, it's less so a contradiction and more so just showing him this, right? Objection! What was the point of the pregnant pause? Where did that objection come from? Well, speak up. It was me, Your Honor. What is it, Phoenix? I have a feeling that something bad's going to happen once I show this. Mr. Wright, if you have something to say, please spit it out. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, Phoenix. Deep breath. Mr. Powers. The something you saw. Was it this item? Oh! Hey, that's it! That's the something! Wow, Mr. Wright, you really figured it out. I recall we found this at Matt Ungard's mansion. At the defendant's house? What does this mean? It's simple, Your Honor. Shelly the Killer assassinated Juan Corrida in his room. and then he stole this wooden bear from the scene of the crime. Then the bear being found at Mr. Ungard's mansion would mean... It goes without saying, Your Honor. Mr. Matt Ungard is the killer's client! Order! 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 I said order! Mr. Wright, this is the most unfortunate turn of events for you. Yeah. Sorry, Mia. No, it's all right. Your judgment was sound. Actually, I figured the bear would come up. If not now, then it would have later on. Even if you hadn't shown it to the court, I'm sure your friend Edgeworth would have. I almost forgot that he knew about it too. I think it is clear that there's no need for us to continue this trial. I can't let this happen! I have to do something! There has to be something we've overlooked. Your Honor! A minute, please! Yes, Mr. Wright? There's still a few points left that we have not fully explored. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. Alright, Mr. Wright, what question or point would you like to explore further? The testimony, the person who received the bear, or the bear itself? I was wondering what it meant by that. It's covered in many thin cuts. Why? Why would the bear have a lot of thin cuts? Why is that important? The testimony I don't think would really do anything. The person who received the bear, I mean, it was only an arm, but it was coming from Matt's room. So, the only other person that it could have been would be Adrian. But Adrian, assuming at this point she's already gone, well, no, she wouldn't. She would be busy just kind of getting the stage ready. She wouldn't have gone into Juan's room at this point because this would have been right when Juan was killed. So no, the person who received the bear, it still would have had to have been Matt. Unless he was still asleep, but again, no one is there for an alibi for that. So presumably he would still be asleep, which could potentially do that, but again, there's no alibi for that. There's no one there to back him up. I think the big thing is why go out of your way to get the bear? The calling card itself would be enough to indicate that it was the killer's handiwork. Why go out of your way for the bear unless the bear has the suicide note? Maybe, crackpot theory, maybe that's why this bear is important, because it has where the suicide note is. Why don't we check the bear itself? That's the only thing that I can kind of look at, because it having a ton of cuts on it seems weird, and even taking the bear in the first place is also strange. Why do that? What purpose was there in doing that? I think it's fairly obvious that the bear itself is very questionable. The bear, Mr. Wright? This was found at Mr. Ungard's mansion. However, Mr. Ungard was arrested at the hotel that night, which means that since the murder occurred, he has not had a chance to go home. Oh. I think Your Honor has already figured out what I'm trying to say. It is not possible that it was Mr. Ungard who took this bear to his mansion. No. Why, that's very true. We didn't consider that point, Mr. Wright. Honestly, I didn't consider that point either. But I'm glad it's one of those things where it's like the right answer, but the wrong way that we ended up there. There was no way time-wise for the defendant to have taken this bear home. Whew! Disaster averted, it appears. You haven't gotten the best of me yet, Mr. Wright. Huh? I remember it clear as day. I remember what you muttered to yourself at Ungard's mansion. We have this area completely surrounded. There's no way for him to escape. I can't believe it. That butler. All this time, he was the killer. The killer and Ungard were working together, so to speak. And the killer was hiding at Ungard Mansion as its butler. What a bold move! The bear figurine was brought back to Ungard Mansion by the killer himself. When it looked like he was about to be arrested, Ungard had him do so. I assume because it would have been bad had the police found it during their investigation. That bear is also a lot bigger than I was imagining it to be. Well, Mr. Wright, you've been quiet for a while now. This is too much! Isn't there anything I can attack at all? I have to try. I have to find something else. What will you do now, Mr. Wright? Do you plan to... I plan to expose a clearly shaky place in Mr. Powers' testimony. What? There's still another one? There is indeed, Your Honor, and it's quite a questionable point. What are you trying to pull? Oh, well, we can't have that. All right, Mr. Wright, what questionable point would you like to explore further? Huh. Well, we're back to this point, but the bear... Weird. I didn't receive a penalty. Maybe it's one of those things where I have to do this in the right order. So we already showed that the bear itself was questionable. Edward brings up that it was there, and it could be that it was handed off. But in that case, so then the killer handed the bear off to Matt, and then Matt handed the bear back to the killer then. So yeah, we still need to know who received the bear. If it was an arm, then... The weird thing is like, Do we do bear and then Powers' testimony? Since I don't know how much longer this is gonna take, I'm gonna make a quick save. Okay, so we have two options then. We already explored the bear itself, and while it was important, it didn't lead to a penalty. So, if it's a matter of how do we do this in the right order, do we go with the person who received the bear? Because we have Adrian that could potentially do it, or something within Powers' own testimony. Powers' own testimony would be the person that received the bear. I'm gonna go for it. There was one thing in Mr. Powers' testimony that was very unclear, and that is the identity of the person who received the bear. He gave something to the person inside the room. I'm sorry, but I only saw the person's arm. As long as we don't know who it was that took the bear, we can't be sure if... Oh! What is it, Mr. Powers? If you're going to scream like that, then at least give us a good reason why. Oh, yeah, sorry. Actually, so, I remembered. I remembered who took the bear. What? Really? I mean, I only saw his arm. But the arm... It was the Nickel Samurai's arm, I swear it! You've gotta be kidding! Are you sure of that, Mr. Powers? Yeah, I'm sure it was the Nickel Samurai. Order! Order! It looks like you've dug your own grave yet again. How many times is that today? Oh, I've lost count. So the person who took in this little bear was the Nickel Samurai. And as we all know, Matt on guard is the Nickel Samurai. Thanks to the defense, we've made that all the clearer. I think we've heard enough. We now know why this bear figurine was at the defendant's mansion, as well as who it was that received the bear from the assassin in his room. Everything has become very clear. The client, who hired the assassin to commit the murder, was Mr. Matt on guard. I see no reason for this trial to continue. Therefore, I will now hand down my verdict. Thank you, Your Honor, for your understanding. You see, Mr. Wright, you could not win against the truth, could you? I knew it would turn out this way. After all, what Edgeworth has stated is the truth. Any last objections, Mr. Wright? Do I? What should I do? Drag it out as long as possible! I will now announce my... There's only one way for me to drag this trial out. The only thing I have left is this one dirty trick. Your Honor, right now we have these two reasons to believe my client is the assassin's client. Reason number one, he accepted the bear figurine from the assassin. Reason number two, that very same figurine was found at the unguarded mansion. However, it's possible that this is all the work of a certain other person. What are you saying? What I'm saying is it's possible a different person is the killer's real client. The real client? Yes. Is this all you have? Now then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your theory. Who do you say is the killer's real client, and therefore, the real murderer? I mean, Adrian, right? That's the one we gotta bluff. Unless we want to go real. Wouldn't that be a twist? Or we could just completely throw Will under the bus. But no, I think the only way that we're going to be able to have any sort of proof is Adrian, because we only have an arm. We know Adrian has a copy of the Nickel Samurai costume. So, in theory, it could be her. That is the only thing that could potentially cause this trial to drag out any longer than it already has. Adrian Andrews? Yes, we already know that she tried to frame Matt on guard for the crime by wearing a spare Nickel Samurai costume. Oh! Then the Nickel Samurai's arm that I saw, that could have very well been Miss Andrews. But what about Mr. On Guard? If you would please recall yesterday's testimony. The defendant was taking a nap during the break period. That's right. Then, finding this figure at Mr. On Guard's mansion, it was a well-laid trap set by Miss Andrews. Mr. Edgeworth? What is your opinion on this? I can't even begin to count the flaws in the defense's logic. Besides which, there's no evidence to support it. However, I can't fully discount its possibility either. What is with this trial?
Come on, anyone can tell On Guard did it. I can't believe this defense would go so far as to pin the guilt on someone else.
Yeah, unbelievable. It's not something petty, it's murder of all things.
Save mine. This is to save Maya. Even if the whole world turns against me, this is one fight I can't give up on. Order! 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 All disruptive parties will be forced to leave the courtroom. Your Honor. For the benefit of the defense, I'm willing to play along with his what-if game. His what-if game, Mr. Edgeworth? The prosecution is prepared to challenge the defense's theory. Mr. Wright, even you must have thought it strange and wondered, why would the criminal want this little wooden bear? He's right. The killer did specially? What? Yeah, specially. Did specially. I would think it would be especially, but whatever. The killer did specially bring that bear to on guard right away. Why do you ask? Is there something special about it? Absolutely. And I'm sure that once the court knows its significance, the true killer's identity will become crystal clear. Your Honor, the prosecution calls upon a witness who will clear all doubts against Miss Andrews. And who would that be? It's quite simple, Your Honor. Miss Adrian Andrews herself. I see. Well then, the court will take a short 10-minute recess. The prosecution will prepare its witness in that time. Yes, Your Honor. And we abruptly go into the defendant lobby. Okay, that was fast. Oh, I knew it was a good idea to hold her hostage. Don't you agree, Mr. Lawyer? But I never thought in your desperation you'd try to pin the guilt onto Adrian. I swear this demon will pay.
Mr. Nick?
Pearls? Where's Mia?
I don't know. A really strong power suddenly called her away.
A really strong power? Maya! Maya! Hopefully! I hope that's what that means.
Oh, Mr. Nick, your phone is...
It's from Gumshoe. How's it going? Have you been hanging in there, pal? Yeah, sort of. We just barely found something to latch onto. Oh, that's good, pal. And what about you? Anything yet? Did we figure out where the killer and Maya are? We still don't have any leads, but...
What? We don't have any more time!
If we just had one, even a single clue would be really helpful. I was only able to come this far because I kept thinking to myself, I've got to keep the trial going until Maya's been rescued. But if I just run out of luck this time, is all our hope for naught? A tent. Huh? A tent? I could see a circus tent. Mia! Oh, that was Mia speaking. I was wondering, like, what? It looks like Maya was unconscious until just a few minutes ago. As soon as she woke up, she called for me. So was Maya that called you away? Ayy. She's locked in a dusty little room right now. And I could see a circus tent outside the window about 300 feet away. Gumshoe! Is there a circus in town right now? There's only one, pal, the very big circus. Maya's somewhere within a 300-foot radius of the main tent. What? Okay, hold on a sec, pal. Hey, draw a circle on that map. About 300-foot radius from the main tent. Hurry! And? I could see a mailbox under the window, just outside. Gumshoe! There's also a mailbox. Okay. What else? What else, Mia? I'm sorry, but it was a very small window. I couldn't see anything else. I felt like I was in an old office building. Maybe 3rd floor or so? I heard her. An old office building. Good stuff, pal! Okay, just hang in there. Just a little longer, pal. Wish us luck! Good luck. I'll call you later, so don't let your battery die, okay, pal? Mia! Maya's not hurt, right? She's in a pretty bad state, Phoenix. She's being starved. Gumshoe, please hurry! Looks like we're out of time. Are you alright, Phoenix? It's only a matter of time before Maya's rescued. I can do this. I just have to make this trial last a little longer. We aren't even getting a chance to save? Okay. I definitely think we should call it a day, but first opportunity we get. Court will now reconvene. The killer, the man who murdered the victim, handed this to his client. From this, one obvious question arises. Why this particular item? I believe the answer to that question will provide us with the name of the real culprit. Now then, the prosecution calls the defendant's manager, Adrian Andrews, to the stand. Currently, the witness is accused of tampering and obstruction of justice. However, you have been called to the witness stand today to ascertain who exactly is guilty of murder. I understand. Very good. Now, have you ever seen this bear before, Miss Andrews? Of course I have. You've seen it before? That's right. It's only natural that the witness has. Miss Andrews, could you please enlighten the court to this bear's secrets? All right. Why? Why does she? Actually, this is an elaborate puzzle. If you know the correct order, it can be taken apart one piece at a time. At its center is a small cavity, with just enough room to store a small item. Because of its complexity, if you don't know the order, you can't open the bear. You really can't tell that it's just a small jewelry box just by looking at it. So it does have the suicide note. So this figurine, it's a container of sorts, is it? Yes. Looks can be deceiving, wouldn't you agree? Yes, this is superb craftsmanship. Oh, yes, I nearly forgot. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Looks like there really was something in that bear after all. Okay, and with that, we're gonna call it a day. So, next time on Let's Play Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Justice for All. I was really hoping there would just be a to be continued thing. That way we'd have a much cleaner break. But regardless, we are going to jump right into Adrian's testimony yet again and see what we can discover. And perhaps, even better, find out this bear's secret. So until next time, everyone, take care.